I can't wait to get the dress off you.
Stop it. We're supposed to be spending quality time together, having serious conversation.
Only being able to spend time with Shanae for a few hours inside of a hotel room doesn't really feel like what I signed up for.
This guy is a freaking liar. Literally, they walk into the hotel room and he's already talking about taking their clothes off. The matter of the fact is, this guy's in it literally for the pleasure. He doesn't care about fulfilling any of other needs. I mean, listen, there's nothing that Matt has shown so far that has given me this energy anyway. But let's get into it.
What do you want to do?
I mean, no, we need to talk.
What do you need from me?
I need more. It's just always something. And it feels like I'm pulling your attention from your family as I love them and I love.
So this is the thing that I don't understand about this Shanae woman. She knows that she decided to, invest a relationship with a man that is married with kids. Okay? Yeah, it's an open relationship or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, how can she expect to get more from him when he's already got priorities to his wife and his children, and given the fact that she lives obviously quite a distance away? I'm not too sure how far they said it was, but obviously I believe it's a couple hours away or something like that. So the matter of the fact, if she wanted to be with somebody that could give her more time and more attention, well, then she needs to find someone closer to her location. Even if she was to go down the same path of finding a man that is already married with kids or whatever, if you live in the same neighborhood, at least obviously you're able to see each other on a more frequent basis. You see what I'm saying? But because it's based on the idea of you have to plan when you can see each other due to, obviously responsibilities of her being a mother, him being a father, all them kind of things. Long distance was always going to be an issue. It's like, where are the brain cells in this relationship?
Love Angelica, but I can't deny that I need more and I want more. It's for me after 3 years, and we've talked about marriage and what that might look like and having ceremony.
You're telling me it's taking this woman 3 years to now pipe up about her needs? 3 years. And to be fair, it's one thing that it's been 3 years that they've been in this situation, but it's another thing given, well, we'll get into that one.
If we can't lay the foundation and get us right, how am I supposed to feel comfortable bringing Michelle into the situation?
And then boom, bam, it's been 3 years and she hasn't even introduced her kids or her child to him or his family. So what kind of relationship is this? It's clear that their relationship is nothing being but just intimate based only. Because if it wasn't, then I don't think they would have lasted as long as they had. Clearly it was literally bad, but I guess now she's obviously been friends with benefits him in a weird way, whatever, for however long now. Now she's like, well, now I want more. It's weird, isn't it? It's really weird how this dynamic has kind of set itself up. It hasn't set itself up in a very good way. But yeah, 3 years you've been sleeping with this guy, and you're telling me the whole time you haven't even mentioned him to your kids, or your kids haven't even met him yet. Nor have you even thought about ideas of how you can all make it work in terms of who can move closer. And that's another thing. 3 years and none of you have had that conversation about relocating. What kind of calamity is this?
Like,
would you ever consider moving closer?
In a perfect world, I would absolutely be open to moving closer to be with them. We would blend our families of commitment and some big changes that I would need to see on his end.
In a perfect world, you'd go and find yourself a man that isn't married. That's what you would do in a perfect world, okay? But I get it. Obviously, this is their lifestyle. So I guess in a perfect world based on their lifestyle, you'd also find a man that's actually within your radius. So you wouldn't be in this type of predicament. You know what I mean? Like, end of the day, she has shot herself in the foot, because when it comes to this relationship anyway, the only person that benefits out of all three of them is literally just this guy. He gets to go home, sleep with his wife, look after his kids. And then when he's at home, he gets to go to hotels, sleep with her for an hour or so, or however long they spend time together. And then obviously he's then back home again, probably sleeping with his wife again. The guy probably wakes up in the morning, sleeps with his wife, takes his kids to school, goes and sees her on the weekend or whatever, sleeps with her, then goes back home, and then wakes up and sees his wife again anyway. You know what I mean? I'm starting to think that this guy might be worse than Nick. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Let's get into it.
The sex part about it is not difficult. It's not a sexual hang-up that I have with Teresa. It's establishing the basis for us to actually love each other that I have been having difficulty with. In case things don't work out with Teresa romantically, I'm trying to make sure that I don't also ruin the friendship.
I mean, listen, I get it. I mean, obviously with Nick, we just got to basically accept who this guy is. The guy is nothing but just a greedy motherfucker. But listen, he's making a fair point. Obviously, when it comes to Teresa, this is somebody he obviously has respected as a long-term friend. So obviously, he wants to be careful in terms of how he moves. But there has been some interesting information coming out regarding Teresa, to be honest with you. I'm still yet to make the video about that. I don't know why I haven't made it. I'm slacking, clearly. I need to make that video regarding, obviously, you know, this information is circulating around her and who exactly she actually is and how she's actually involved with Nick and now, of course, with the Davis family itself in particular. But yeah, Teresa was definitely come out with some interesting comments throughout this episode. She was really talking about marriage, you know, wanting to bring in another woman into the household, so therefore she can marry that woman, and therefore she can then take the Davis name. I forgot how it all works, but obviously, you know, they obviously all marry each other, but make sure that they all end up sharing his name, so they all feel one. It's like a cult, isn't it? It's like a ritual for a cult. Oh my god, I really hope this Nick guy writes a book one day about how he got himself in this little situation here. You know, just having, you know, it's more the April situation, his main wife, you know, the first one. You know, I can't figure it out. I don't know if she gets off the idea of him being with other women or whatnot. I don't know. And then Jennifer, the whole thing is strange as hell. But anyway, with that being said, though, let's move on to the next one. And we'll have to see how things develop with this with this new group of peoples. Yeah.
Yesel told me he's already browsing the apps without me knowing.
Your turn.
Conversation with my best friend Leah, who's also Yesel's ex-fiance, and decided that it's time to sit Yesel down and have a discussion. And first time around, we didn't have the boundary talk.
It's crazy though, because when people don't have the boundary talk, obviously that's when you know boundaries are going to be overstepped. That's when you know things are going to go to, you know, things are likely to go left, and all them kind of situations.
Just kind of jump in with both feet and see how it goes. So there was already a friendship there, pre-established from many years ago. Just hanging out with somebody. But I really didn't think of how my wife saw it. The lack of communication.
To be fair, I don't think it's necessary for them to keep reminding us about the fact that they've already tried this lifestyle before, but when they tried it with a woman that he already knew from school, and therefore, of course, he was just going about his business without communicating, blah, 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 blah. But we've seen this already in the first episode. Like, yo, can we just not move on from this story, you know? Like, let's get into the nitty-gritty of them actually finding someone new.
You know, just not involving Danny as much.
I don't want another woman to have a child with you.
Be unfair.
For me, that's a non-negotiable.
Oh boy. So she's happy for him to bring in another woman to the household, but not to bring in a child. I mean, listen. I guess this woman I guess the requirement is that she must already be a mother then. So therefore, the urgency of her wanting to have a child may not be as high anymore. Unless, of course, they're looking for somebody who has no kids. Boy, it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. But the thing that I didn't like about this scene is that it kind of says that she'll never be satisfied with her sons because she always wanted them to be a boy.
But you can see how that may create some drama.
So part of my reason is just like a little bit of selfishness, because what if this woman, you know, has a baby with you and it's a girl? Like, I couldn't handle that.
See what I'm saying? It's crazy. She might as well just sat there and screamed, "I'm not happy with the fact that I have two sons." So if I saw someone else coming with a girl, it would just upset me. I don't know, man. How do you feel about that one? Because boy, that one was a very off-key scene for me personally.
To see another woman have what I wanted so bad with my husband, I don't know if I'd be able to stomach that.
Like if you're gonna have...
Lady, the fact that you can already stomach that your man's gonna be sleeping with another woman anyway is just, yeah.
A strong, healthy polygamous relationship. Everything needs to be fair across the board. Everybody's got to have their input. It doesn't need to feel like one person sits above everybody else in the relationship. Boundary has the potential to create a whole lot of friction.
Listen, I completely get, obviously, what he's saying, you know, because obviously if you want to have a relationship now and you bring someone else in, there obviously has to be that balance of everybody having their responsibility. Obviously, you know, I mean, it depends, because obviously if you're looking in a point of view of it being a sister, you're seeking a sister wife, right? The man isn't he automatically already the head of the table anyway? Isn't he already the one in charge of everything anyway? Like, so I'm a bit confused by that comment, to be honest, because, and also on top of that, another reason why I'm confused about it is because he's the guy that's already gone out of his way to put himself online to already start scouting for women without even actually telling his wife about it. So he talks about, you know, bringing someone in and not allow them to have a kid with me. is going to mean that there's going to be someone who's obviously going to be charged with the power, when that's already what he's doing anyway, if that makes any sense. Yeah, this Vieso guy, he makes no sense. It's like, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next one.
Well, it's like, it's a legal prenup.
But what is it?
Go in and do some of your own editing. It's through like a lawyer website.
Not just for us in the business sake, because you and I are partners in the business, but, you know, if you were to just marry Lorena and...
I mean, obviously, I don't know enough about prenups, you know what I mean? But obviously, he's looking into it, which is a good thing. But at the same time, looking into it is different compared to actually then making it happen. He definitely needs to now make it happen. Do you see what I'm saying? That's just the nitty and gritty of the situation. But yeah.
Something happened. It's all hers, and, you know, and just making sure, you know, Danielle's protected and aren't legally married anymore, and just mom and dad live with you. I mean...
Which is still crazy to believe that Danielle's parents obviously lives with Garrick and Danielle and the new lady, Lorena, that's the one. But yeah, the brother's not wrong. You know, Daniel's brother's not wrong in any shape or form. Everybody needs to be protected. You know, we can't have you marrying somebody out of your thirst and using the Bible as an excuse to then, you know, be with somebody that then maybe ends up divorcing you and then runs away with everything. And it's sad because obviously everything that they own, Garrick is a big, massive part of it. And obviously, because he's not married to Danielle anymore, she would walk away with absolutely nothing, which of course would affect Danielle's parents, obviously, and also her brother, because obviously Garrick's in business with her brother. Yeah, I mean, Garrick better start to, and it's crazy, but Garrick had the audacity to say, well, I may need you to help me with it because I've got a lot of things to do. And the brother's like, don't procrastinate now, you know, this is some serious stuff. It's actually quite crazy how Garrick doesn't even care to take into consideration how his behavior is actually going to affect others. Crazy business. Such a selfish man.
Yeah, we'll just get that paperwork like you guys were just talking about.
I'm just frustrated with Garrick. I definitely think if things didn't work out with Lorena, it would be very hard for my sister. It would be very hard for Garrick.
I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't feel sorry for Danielle in that situation personally, because Danielle's the one that's choosing to put herself in this predicament. She's very aware of what life she's putting herself into. So yeah, if this Sister Danielle was to suffer, it is what it is.
It would make it hard for our whole family.
I totally understand, especially because you always kept your things here in the room itself. It was just yours, essentials.
I'm just wondering how I'm going to adjust, you know? I'm just a little emotional because, yeah, I've always shared a room with her.
Danielle's finally come to the realization that the room that she shared with Garrick for so many years with all of her clothes is now going to be a room that is now going to be shared with herself and another woman, but that's only when they shared that room with Garrick. And obviously any clothing that she has is all going into the room that she's going to be sharing with the other wife, Lorena. It's all coming down. And it's crazy because she even had the audacity to say that, oh no, you know, this is all good, you know, it's just a bit emotional. Danielle always downplays how she really feels, which is so sad to watch. But at the same time, I have no sympathy because she continuously chooses to be in this predicament, you know. And it's at the end of the day, it's by her choice. You know, she can say it's because God has led them to this and that, what she wants, but it's by choice. Everything that we do in life is by choice. Even if we're led to places by people, we still make the choice to follow. I mean, we don't have to follow where we are led. Do you know what I mean? If we have other alternatives or other ideas that we think is better, then we can always proceed in that way. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.